Hello, Helen. How are you?
Lots of friends in the audience. So nice. Okay, we're out live. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us tonight on the Wisdom Dharma Chat. As I was just saying to the live audience, we have not one great master, but two great masters tonight. So super excited about this. Of course, I think everyone knows Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche. Rinpoche is an incredibly popular Buddhist teacher and meditation teacher. Best-selling author. I think what's so special about Rinpoche is that he has, this amazing Nyingma Dzogchen lineage coming down through his father, but he also has an amazing meditation Kagyu lineage coming down through Tai Situ Rinpoche. He's done retreat with great masters like Selje Rinpoche, and Rinpoche is not just a holder of these lineages; he embodies them. He's done, years and years of retreat. He's a great inspiration for many of us. And when the scientists try and check in and look at what's going on under here, he amazes them. So it's a good inspiration for a Buddhist practice. And then, of course, we have Professor Bob Thurman, former Jesson Kampa chair at Columbia University. We have Dominique in the audience, who is the new one. Nice to see you, Dominique.
Yes, Dominique Townsend.
Yeah. Also, co-founder of Tibet House, US, the amazing institution here in New York that everyone should go check out. One of the unique things I love about Bob is, of course, he's a great pandita, right, in the Western universities. But he's also, I work with Bob a little bit, and he's an incredible master of Tantra. His knowledge of Tantric practice just blows me away. And I think he's one of the few people, Westerners in the world, that has such a great handle of Tantra. So I'm excited to see where this conversation goes tonight. And we're going to be very spontaneous. So I thought, one of the things I thought we'd talk about is how do you apply this Buddhist practice to daily life, right? But, our audience, you guys, are basically not beginners. I know that because I get letters and emails from many of you, and I know there's people in the audience who have done 3-year retreats, and so we know that, our audience is quite committed and dedicated practitioners, actually. So sometimes I like to just jump into the deep end, right? So tonight we might jump into the deep end. And so what I wanted to start talking about is sort of like tease out, a sutra approach versus a tantric approach. How would Ma Mudra or Dzogchen approach these daily problems? And I start with you, Rinpoche. And one of the things I was thinking maybe we could start with is, sometimes you hear Tantra described, or Vajrayana described as taking fruition as the path, or taking the result as the path. And so I thought we'd start with just unpacking that somewhat strange concept, and then seeing how we might apply that in daily life. So Rinpoche, could you teach us a little bit of what does taking the fruition as the path, what could that mean?
Yeah, so of course there's a different perspective in the
Don't look at me.
Your perspective and my perspective, totally different. I'm just kidding. So there are 4 lineages in Tibetan Buddhism. They're a little bit different, but His Holiness Dalai Lama said the essence is same. So my practice is like Kagyu and Nyingma. So what we discuss is everybody has this enlightened nature, like Buddha nature. And that Buddha nature is fully enlightened. Like normally when we talk about the result of fruition, meaning like 3 kayas, like enlightened nature. And that is with us all the time. But, there's always a but, right? But it is not recognized. It is not discovered. It has obscuration. It's covered. So I brought the apple here. So this is the fruition, right? So apple is fully grown here, but if you cover like that way, you cannot find the apple, though apple is here. So the Vajrayana practice, normally what we call the creation stage and the completion stage, there are 2 of those, is using that kayas and wisdoms as path. For example, the creation stage or developmental stage imagine I am Buddha right now, right here. So the Sambhogakaya, all these bodies, kayas, wisdoms, in the imagination level, you are feeling, experience, imagination level that you are experiencing now. So that's the path. So aiming that result as in the creation stage, using as path. And by doing that, you will discover the fruition. And also working with the completion stage, working with the body, the prana, bindu, nadi, or especially in the Mahamud and Dzogchen, working directly with the awareness that this wisdom is there, and through the pointing out teaching, you begin to recognize maybe a lump of something first, and slowly, slowly you see a path, and slowly, slowly, fully. So when we fully discover, called enlightenment. So that's what we call taking fruition as a path.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. Bob, same question for you. Do you need an apple? Taking the result as the path.
I missed dinner because of being double scheduled, so I wouldn't mind an apple, but I don't want to chew it right now. No, I like what Rinpoche said very much. And actually, I was thinking that in the way Prasangika Madhyamaka is discovered, not just Tantra, the idea of the definitive meaning, Ngenden, definitive meaning, is precisely referring to the fruition as the path. And the Akshayamati Nirdesha Sutra is quoted by them, Chandrakirti and then later Tsongkhapa, I think probably Sakyapanita, maybe Longchenpa as well, that's a difference, where in other words the fruition is already there. But then there's another thing about Buddha nature that what occurs to me to talk about that will be fun is about words a little bit, about language. And that is, we use the word, and everyone here, I'm sure, is all into meditation. And meditation is it. And in fact, in the old days, 50 years ago, when I got started, people would say, oh, Buddhism, that's nothing, that's just meditation. That's just meditation. Just meditate, everything is fine. And I was very pleased once at a Buddha Fest in Los Angeles. I brought Dr. Nida, who was a doctor, a Tibetan physician, and also a Dzogchen teacher in the Yutok, Yonten Gompo tradition. Right. And in a way, he's a kind of guru of mine, but we're also friends. We somehow have the flexibility of relationship where he can be a guru and we can also be friends. And he said, well, it's not only medication that can have side effects. Sometimes meditation can too. It was like somebody's farting in church, It was quite awful. Everybody was really freaked out, because it was like the church of meditation, So what I'm playing with, and I'd be very interested in consulting with you about it, is the word gompa in Tibetan, spelled a certain way, bao sakata ganara goma gompa, and with a sa, usually almost past. That they use to translate a Sanskrit word called bhavana. And bhavana is really is quite different from chinta. And it's from a verb to be or to become. And it means making something become. So in a way, it's more like realization, actually, than meditation. And in the meditation English word, it sort of is more chinta involved in it, actually, thinking, discursive, or like a vipassana type of thing. So are we taking if you take the 3 levels of wisdom, sam, te, sam, gom, sum, thinking, learning, thinking, and then we say meditating nowadays, that's what everybody translates, the third one, instead of thinking. But I think we should do learning, meditating, and realizing. I'm playing with translating bhavana as realizing. Right. In other words, making it real. Right. And the thinking is the meditating, and we have Descartes, and nowadays I credit Descartes with being an emanation of Manjushri and discovering that he couldn't find the self.
Right.
And he gave up looking for the self.
Right.
But then he didn't have you, in France in the 17th century. So when he said, well, I can't find myself, but that's because I'm looking for myself as an object.
Right.
But when I think, then I'm here. And so that's the absolute starting point. Meanwhile, that's a relative starting point. Nothing absolute about it. But nobody was there. I don't think you would have done like a Zen master and gone whack on him, would you? You would have been more polite. I know you would. You would have made a joke or something. But so I'm just playing with that.
Right.
And I think it has very far-reaching implications.
Yes.
If people come to think that that is the thing. Then the second word I would like to discuss, if I can say one more word, Buddha nature. The word for in Sanskrit, Tibetan is Ningbo, they say Ningbo, or they say Ningbo. But in Sanskrit it was Tathagata Garbha. And what does Garbha mean? And I think this is a funny one. Garbha's main meaning is a womb, like that ladies have, which we are deprived of,
Right.
you and me and Dan. But, maybe the Buddhist teachers didn't think it would be popular in male chauvinist societies to go around saying to the Trisong Detsen or to some Chinese or Japanese or person, oh yeah, you have a Buddha womb. So they use the word Ningbo in Tibetan, which really means essence. And then in Chinese, I forget what the word is, but it's like essence, So they don't say, nobody uses the word womb for Garbha. But I'm very fond of that womb word myself. I'm not trans. I'm too old to even think about it. But I do think that we have to reevaluate certain things in Buddhism as we translate it in the modern period, based on the fact that the matrix of old Buddhism were fairly male-dominated societies in the past, right? So we have to work on that. And I feel Buddha planted seeds from the beginning, like a word like Tathagata Garbha. He chose that word there. He could, Sada means essence. There's a lot of Sanskrit words for essence that are not Garbha, Right? What do you think?
So in my tradition,
Yes.
Gomba means combine, like very famous song from Milarewa.
Yes.
Meditation is not meditation.
Yes.
Meditation is getting familiar with.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's Gomba, Kanoro Gomba, so Gomba.
Yes.
So it's really getting familiar with your mind.
Yes.
So that's sometimes we translate as not really Gom.
Yes. Kom with no sago.
Yeah.
And that means to accustom,
yeah.
become accustomed to something.
Yeah, so to
Right.
realize,
Yes,
to
yes.
really get familiar with
Make it
your
real.
true nature.
Yes. So the idea there then being that when you, by chinta, by meditating, like Descartes,
Right.
you find out you can't discover a fixed center in yourself, right? You can't find it. And then, but you instinctively feel it's there. And if somebody steps on your foot, you're going to react like, angry. And the anger will come from absolute center, or obsession will come from absolute center. So you haven't really, your understanding that you couldn't find it doesn't change the instinctive feeling that you're absolute center, your ego center is absolute. So then Gom, if you say, become familiar with, or accustomed to, or habituate to, then you're pressing down your understanding from your experience into become a complete visceral thing.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So that's realized, right?
Yeah, realize.
Okay.
Why is that realized, Bob? Like you would think.
What's that?
Why is that realized? Like you think Descartes, he started doing Chair-Gom, some analytical meditation using skepticism.
Yeah, he did
right?
analytical meditation.
So you got Tur-Sam Gom, right?
Yeah, so
It
that
seemed
was
like
some.
some.
He was doing
He
some.
was doing some, but not Gom.
Yeah.
And then so he was doing contemplation. He was doing like reflection rather than meditation. But why are you saying that Gom is realization? Did you understand that?
Yeah, because
Rinpoche?
making it complete and real to yourself.
Okay.
In other words, he understood he couldn't find himself,
Yeah.
which is that's a big Zen experience.
Yeah.
And then in a community where people can get along with being selfless, and they can question the absoluteness of the feeling of self, but they realize that doesn't stop you from relationally being a self, where you question the absoluteness of your centrality. And then the realizing is where it becomes your total way, your habit.
So Rinpoche, realize
that's what I'm
it's like
appealing.
with the Sajuk, right?
It's experience, like maybe kind of a direct experiencing
Direct
it.
experiencing it.
It become like reality.
Yeah, full, it becomes full.
Yeah.
We use the word in Tibetan Tokpa, which is avabodha, or avabodhi, like in Sanskrit, or tokasatok with the sa. That we usually translate as realize. So we'd have to have another word for that, understand or something. But the realizing, if we made bhavana into realization, and then particularly in Tantra, where you have, now you realize there's a moon in the center of space, and in the Guya Samaja Tantra or something, you have statements like that. And then or even the pointing out. Okay, Dzogchen Master points out,
Yes.
and then one draw, a few 100,000 prostrations, Guru Puja, mandala offering, etc., etc.
And before that, you have to do shamatha, vipassana, all this step by step.
Exactly.
The pointing out teaching comes at the last.
Yes, and actually, I really love that in the Utok system, he has Gedam and Zogrim in there.
Yeah.
Before,
Pointing out. Before the point out.
No, pointing out is there, but then part of the Wundro
Right.
is Gedam and Zogrim.
Yeah.
So all the levels of Tantra are there as the Wundro to the sort of immediate pointing out.
Yeah.
So that's where, if you were extraordinary and the immediate pointing out, you had a feeling of being here now, so to speak.
Yeah.
But to make that a habit, then you're having to realize that.
Yeah. Recognition.
The pointing out, you
pointing
remember
out
that moment,
is-
but
yes.
then you have to realize
Yeah.
it.
Pointing out is really kind of like become the experience of that, the wisdom, your true nature, what we call, not just analytical level, not just idea level.
Yes.
So you have to have direct experience. So
Yes.
it's very similar.
But in a way, though, it's kind of like you're taking a loan, and then the Wundro is you have to pay the interest.
Yeah. Preparation.
You're getting a loan from the Guru, in other words.
So the other point that was brought up was Buddha nature.
Yes.
This idea of Gaba, womb, and Nying, essence. So Rinpoche, I was wondering if you could say a few words about what Buddha nature is. And Rinpoche, can we sort of make it, because we're talking a lot about words and theories and stuff, maybe bring it into real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Buddha nature meaning, from the experiential level, we discuss about awareness, love and compassion, and the wisdom, and these three unity quality that with us all the time, 24 hours, even there's a thought, emotion, happy, not happy, it doesn't matter. And that unity of these three things, there's step-by-step introduction. Like awareness, at the beginning it's just like consciousness. So normally we talk about what is the definition of consciousness, knowing, clear and knowing, Salshin Rigpa. But then when we recognize that consciousness, so there are two things, the self-awareness and self-luminosity and other luminosity, like Rangrik and Shenrik. So first we recognize through Shenrik, meaning you can see my hand, you can hear, you can feel, you can think, basically the just normal consciousness. But the recognizing that quality of the knowing and slowly go inside, then we recognize that self-luminosity. So that's the awareness. Then there's an innate love and compassion. That love and compassion with us 24 hours. First time when I hear this from my father, I don't believe, because I'm having panic attacks and I'm not so happy. And sometimes I really hate, I hate the storms. I hate
Who do you hate?
storm.
Oh, storm. You don't
Yeah.
like storm?
I don't like
Oh.
the
Panic attack.
panic attacks. And these storms drive me crazy.
Oh.
Summer, the snowstorm in
Yes.
my hometown, Nepal.
Oh. Yes.
The border between Tibet and Nepal.
Oh, I see.
Winter, snowstorm.
I see.
Summer, thunderstorm.
Oh, yeah, lightning.
Lightning, boom, and
Yes.
the entire mountain will shake,
Yes, yes.
And I don't like strangers. I hate strangers.
Stranger.
Yeah.
When you're young, Rinpoche,
When I was young.
Oh, I see.
Important point.
I know. Inji. They're all Inji.
Yes, those monkeys. No, I'm just kidding. So when I was young, the new people come to my village, I have this anxiety.
I see. I see.
I hate them.
Oh, sorry.
But then my father said, you have this love and compassion with you all the time.
Yes.
But I don't believe. But then there's an introduction. So pointing out again, what is love? Innate, not normal love and compassion. Innate love and compassion. Then there's a wisdom, like discerning element. And the wisdom is what we call the biggest paradox. Like first, wisdom has discerning, almost like labeling, recognizing its concept. And by doing that, we analyze, we look at the true nature. Then in the end, that go beyond. So paramita meaning go beyond of wisdom.
Transcend.
Transcend, yeah. Rinpoche used that, transcend as well.
So that three is unity is the Buddha nature.
Wonderful. So I'm wondering if I should start a fight now or later between the debate. So Rinpoche is saying Buddha nature, he's describing Buddha nature as these three, right?
Three unity qualities.
Yeah, so like wisdom, awareness, wisdom,
loving.
compassion, right?
Yes.
And you would say, Rinpoche, would you say, and maybe we could both comment, the wisdom, compassion, and awareness of a Buddha is already present now? Like the compassion of a Buddha is already present now, right? Yeah. And that it's not something we need to develop.
Seed level, but fully grown. So that's our
So our compassion is already fully grown.
Yeah, but it's covered.
Buddha's compassion is fully
Buddha's Rinpoche is saying right now at the base level, the base compassion and the result compassion are exactly the same. Rinpoche
That's our difference.
Well, from Buddha's perspective, right?
from the Buddhist
Like
perspective.
Buddha's fully grown means poor guy,
Yeah.
he's right here.
Yeah.
He discovered that he's you and me and Dan and everybody and the taxi driver and the Uber driver and everyone. And the president, and the vice president, and Putin. So Dharmakaya means you're everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what you discover. You think you escape to some place of sheer freedom,
Right.
and you do, but then that sheer freedom is occupied by everybody else. What?
Right.
And therefore, that's the compassion, because Buddha feels other people's feeling. You know, I've heard people say that some people go around saying, even perhaps, if in the name of Buddhism, say compassion is not empathy.
Yes.
But I don't like that. I think that's wrong. It's more than empathy, but it's completely empathy.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
ambition, first level, and the second level become compassion.
Yeah, but what is added to the empathy that makes it compassion? This is the key.
The will, I think.
What?
Will.
Will? But what is will then?
Will
How
of really
about-
want to help.
Tetong yermepa.
Right.
How about
the
bliss?
ultimate, yes.
Indivisible bliss.
Yeah.
What is added is a bliss,
Yeah.
even with the suffering being. Because what does the suffering being who's suffering need? They need bliss.
Right.
And then how is that possible? For if you're a Dharmakaya, that means you're me, and I'm practically dead, old, and then you have to feel all of that. So you have to be able to see that somewhere deep in my cells, there is already bliss, right? So Buddha sees, therefore, Buddha's vision is a Buddha womb of everybody. I've been seeing, in Bhagavad Gita,
Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, in honor of His Holiness's fourth aim in life, or sometimes third aim, as a son of India,
All right.
you know that thing, where his body is more made of rice and dal than it's made of momo,
Right.
because he lived longer in India. So he doesn't want to convert Hindus to Buddhism, right? So I'm looking in Hinduism, how can they meet? And this is the job of the Tibet houses, which is to show the culture, so they don't have to convert. They can learn something about why Tibetans are jolly. Why is Mingyur Rinpoche jolly? I want to find that out. But I don't want to be a Buddhist because I'm a Hindu or I'm a Christian or I'm Jewish or something. And my grandmother would be very upset if she said I was a Buddhist. So then they can see the culture, and then they don't have to sign up. right? They don't have to have a stamp on their forehead, Buddhist, right? So what is that? Oh yeah, so Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am all of you.
Right.
So almost like a Buddha.
Right.
But then he doesn't ask you to know that. Just love him. So that's a difference. In other words, I'm wondering how they could have a Krishna sattva. Buddha says, I need help, I need more Buddhas. So be a bodhisattva. But Krishna doesn't say, I need more Krishnas. Right? So is that a difference?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Yes and no. Yes, but.
There's no one answer.
That's right. Very good. Yes, no one answer. I like that. Wonderful. That's really great.
So Rinpoche, this...
That's really great. So when you were wandering around the railway station getting dysentery and nearly dying for us, thank you very much, to learn to be with the people in India, then you must have met a lot of
Yeah,
Hindus.
many of them.
Did you have discussions about the...
We have a lot of discussion. So the one, very similar, many aspects,
Yes,
but what I see some difference,
Yeah.
like Atma.
yes,
So of course, it's beyond concept, oneness. But then there's a oneness and not two. So there's some subtle difference. We discuss Buddha nature, not one, but not two. Buddha nature also emptiness, but of course not nothingness. So the emphasis some in the final level, some differences, but a lot of things very similar. Yes.
that's very nice. I very much admire that you did that. Why
Thank
did
you.
you do that? You were Sivan and Changza, they must have been really upset.
Yeah, I'm bored of
You
coming
had to
to
escape.
going around the world and teaching meditation. I feel very bored and I want to go disappear in the Himalayas.
Holiday, Rinpoche.
You then were very
holiday.
sick, right? You got very, very
Yeah,
sick.
the first month was really difficult. I finished I have few thousand Indian rupees and that gone in the
Yeah.
first month. Then I have to beg food.
Oh, yeah.
So the leftover food poison, diarrhea,
Yes, of course.
vomiting, almost die. But now I'm considered that is one of the best experience.
Really? Why was that?
I learn a lot.
You what?
I learn a lot.
Yes, of course. Of course. Wonderful.
Tell us a little bit about what you learned, Rinpoche.
We have this Bardo practice, Bardo. How many of you know Bardo? Raise your hand. Everybody. So in the Bardo, we have this dissolution, right?
Yes.
The elements dissolving, the consciousness, senses, everything dissolves. So I experience all this dissolution. Then in the end, what we call luminous experience.
Nawa. Nangche
Namche
Topsum.
Topsum. After the Topa, so there's a kind of like mother luminosity, Ji vessel. So I experience very clear and long time, 6-7 hours. So
Wonderful.
my body become paralyzed. All the senses are gone, but mind is very clear. And I know what is going on, but at the same time, not the thought. So it's like thought, meaning we think about the apple, so the mind become tiny and go to the apple and look around the apple, right?
Very good.
But that time, apple appear in the mind. It's almost like, I give example, like if you go to the mountain, there's a lake. Entire valley reflect in the lake, right?
Yes.
At the same time.
Yes, sure.
So in that state, there's no really word, no really conceptual mind, no really thought, even body sensation not there, but awareness very clear.
Your eyes were open, Rinpoche, or closed?
Close.
Yeah.
Eyes closed, and I think maybe I'm
6 hours.
fell down. I'm not sure. Maybe not like this or something like that.
And did you see the red, the white, red, black, or just straight?
All the dissolutions, not very long, but
That's wonderful.
dissolve.
I had one.
Did you get to
when you came out-
unconsciousness? Did you reach the darkness?
I never become unconscious that time.
I see.
Never become unconscious. Almost become unconscious, but not really become
Right.
unconscious.
So the
Then
near top is the dark light,
Yeah.
black.
Yeah. But then I wake up. Slowly sense are coming. First I hear
Yes,
so many sounds there.
yes,
Normally I never hear.
yes.
Then I can open my eyes, try to move. And I feel thirsty. Really thirsty.
Yes, of course.
Really want to drink water. So then there's the palm wheel, like India, what do you call it?
Yes, sure. Yeah, pump, water pump.
So I really want to get that palm wheel. Then I become unconscious.
Wow.
Fell down.
Rinpoche, this luminosity you're talking about, I always wanted to ask you whether that's the same as Rigpa or not.
That is ritual.
That is Rigpa,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the dissolution process, what Bob is talking about, and that the final one is like Usel, right?
Right.
Clear light. So we go through this dissolution, and the final one after black near attainment,
Yeah.
is Usel. And this you can say is the same as Rigpa.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's also Buddha nature.
Interesting.
Yes. I call it immanence.
Imminence.
I don't like appearance and spread of appearance and
Right.
near attainment.
Right.
I call it luminance, radiance,
Radiance.
like a solar one, the sun, and then imminence with an I.
Nice.
Imminence means something is about to happen.
Yeah.
Imminence. Immanence means the absolute is in the relative, but imminence means something about to happen. So
Yeah,
that's
very
what
good.
I like. I like to call them like that. I don't think it can be appearance
Yeah.
because you're disappearing.
Yeah.
Well, I think appearance means someone didn't get there.
Yeah.
I think.
And we experience.
He gave me great teaching, actually, but he doesn't want to tell it, I know. No, he won't want to tell it in public. But he gave me like a special oral transmission.
Oh.
He did. Which
Pointing out.
he learned in Australia from one geisha
Oh.
about the, Lying Ajay,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
4 points of Lying Ajay. He taught me that. And then it's very amazing. I then asked His Holiness, I happened to go down, so I asked His Holiness, and I said, is it written anywhere? Because I had never heard it in 50, 60 years.
Right.
And then he said, yeah, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe. He said, it was one of the busy people. He says, maybe Lucha Dhammabhadra said something. He says. So then as I'm leaving that audience, the Sogen Rinpoche was there at that time working for him. He gives me one of the private office books,
All right.
right? And then and that book was His Holiness lectures on Yamantaka. And it has cellophane, wrapping, beautiful, nice looking, very fancy private office book, right? So I get back to my room and I take my thumb and I go like this to the cellophane, and then I pull the cellophane and the thing falls open to exact page.
Oh.
I was amazed. Talk about a small miracle. But I can't say because he told me.
No.
He's a yogi. This guy. Those people.
I'm just asked the questions.
Those people
I
in
just have the
Australia,
questions.
they're so far away down in Australia. They become great yogis. Not only great internet masters, but yogis. And poets. Really, he is.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But this is amazing, this conversation between, these different traditions, and that, at the end of the day, we are always talking, when we talk about the ultimate, it seems like everyone agrees.
I know, but it's not really different.
Yeah.
Dr. Nita, I'm very grateful to Dr. Nita. I am so stupid. I translated in the 70s, when I was in Dharamsala, a life and teaching of Tsongkhapa thing. And in that, I translated, because I really liked it, the teaching given by Vajrapani to Lota Namkha Gyaltsen
All right.
for the benefit of Tsongkhapa, who he called Sumati Bhadra,
Right.
as they called him in the thing, And it's all about the pitfalls of meditating Dzogchen.
Yes.
And then I had translated that 30 or 40 years earlier, then he reprinted that book
Right.
here in the West.
Yeah.
And so then I didn't pay much attention, I did that before. So then Dr. Nita says, well, he taught Tsongkhapa Dzogchen, of course. Not only, the Gelugpas are very grateful to Lota Namkha Gyaltsen, who was a Nyingma Kalam sort of mixed in those days. It wasn't such a huge difference.
Yeah.
And because they say, like the old Rinpoche, Kapja Rinpoche, the previous Kundang Lama, used to hold like this, oh, thank you. Because he stopped Tsongkhapa and his partners from going to India at that time. They were all gaga about Buddha, they wanted to go to Bodh Gaya. Meanwhile, there was nothing going on in India, right, in 1400.
All right.
So he stopped them and had them stay in Tibet, So he did his work in Tibet. So anyway, then Dr. Nida pointed out that was, then he went back and finished his retreat, and then he had his great experience at the end of that retreat. So Dr. Nida rightly, I think, says, and he then says, His Holiness also said on one Tibetan teaching, in Tibetan, which is on YouTube, but only in Tibetan. And the name only is in Tibetan, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but he heard it. His Holiness said, yes, Tsongkhapa benefited from Dzogchen, 100%, during his retreat.
Yes.
So it's not really, they're not really very different. I don't think. I think everybody has every dimension. And different people in the different traditions, they will have a different understanding about them, of course. And they'll argue with each other in the most horrible ways, like going like this, right?
Yeah.
In the Khenpos in Nyingma Gompa, they behave like that too, right?
Yeah.
When I was first in Drebung, in India, Indian Drebung, I had never, even I was been a monk, but I've been in Dharamsala, sort of more quiet. And I was having tea with Abbot, and then I thought there was a riot outside. And then he said, no, it's not a riot, they're just doing the evening debate. It sounded like a riot.
First time in Nepal,
Yes,
we introduced debate,
yes.
and the local police came.
Wonderful.
They thought, oh, now there's a big fight in the monastery.
Wow.
And then the monks were laughing, and they're confused,
It's very important, because we lack that in American education.
Right.
The British have a little more than we do. They can speak very vigorously at each other without fist fight. But in America, if you have that vigorous bring your emotions into your view, to investigate the view, the worldview, then we'll have a fight in America. People go, yes, no, yes, no. We don't know how to bring the emotions into thinking, like that. And that would be a great gift of Tibetans in education if we could do that, right? Columbia University on the walk, people go out in the evening and really scream at each other Nietzsche was crazy. No, he was really great, and really do that and give reasons.
In the monastery, what we call, if we introduce debate,
Yes.
actually the monks, nuns become more harmony
Yes. Sure.
after the debate.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
having this debate. Actually, I was wanting in the Wisdom Academy, we do online courses. I was wanting to somehow introduce debate into it. I wasn't sure. I asked His Holiness, Your Holiness, how could we do debate? How should we do that? And then His Holiness said, debate's very good, very important, but I don't know how to do how you do this on an online course. But maybe we'll work it out. Right. So one thing I think you both are fantastic at is this amazing understanding of Vajrayana and Dzogchen Mudra, and then applying it to everyday life. Because often we hear about these concepts, and it's really hard to know, first to understand what they are, but then how would I go taking these high teachings and applying them to everyday life? So I want to have a go at it, and Rinpoche, I'll start with you. A lot of people these days are sort of, let's say it, addicted to this, right?
Yeah.
And, how would we overcome this addiction to, picking up our phone every 5 minutes? How would we do that as a sutra way, maybe as a tantra way, maybe as a Dzogchen way?
So normally,
Good one.
I give all the solution in 1 minute. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, this is a very, very big question. So normally what we call, there are 3 ways to work with it. So, Pang, Yur, Shesum, understand? Crystal clear. I'm just kidding, it's Tibetan, in Tibetan. Pang meaning remove or abandoning style. Gyurua meaning transforming, what we call poison become medicine, like transforming. Sheba meaning knowing the nature, so go beyond, like transcending. So we talk about the 3 style. So, for example, if you are really addicted to the phone, the first is a lot of style in the sutta style, like removing, meaning antidote style. So for example, if you have a lot of thought, then the breathing meditation. If you have hatred, then loving kindness. If you have ignorance, then the trouble interdependent link. Attachment, then skeleton, meditation, and pride or jealousy, appreciation. So all this antidote, like problems here, and then antidote here, and they remove the problem. So removing and replacing this very important Kadamba saying that if the pig coming to your vegetable farm hit small stick on the nose of pig, at the beginning, pakna tumbudung. So pakna meaning pig nose. When they begin to come to your vegetable garden, hit small stick on the nose, then pig never come back to that place. So removing. So for the smartphone, don't bring your smartphone in your bedroom. So put it in another room and maybe put into the locker. So that's removing, meaning using another antidote. Mm-hmm. Then second thing is what we call transforming. So transform meaning now, even though if you remove your phone from your bedroom, but what is there? Craving, right? You still think about the smartphone and your hands are itching, and your mind thinking about who knows, there's somebody, send me message and emails, and then I put the new pictures and then how many likes, So how to work with that? So what we call transform that craving into awareness, love and compassion, and wisdom. So how to transform into craving? Feel that craving. Watch, observe. No need to get rid of that. No need to fight with that. Let it be. And that craving becomes support for awareness. Like poison become medicine. Or you look at that nature of craving, you can find innate love and compassion. Or you analyze, ask special question, and the craving become pieces normally. Sensation, image, lot of word, and the belief. So what we call is like shaving foam. Look like piece of rock, but when you look at the inside, it's like bubbles, right? So this is the wisdom, the beginning of the wisdom. So all transform into awareness, compassion, and the wisdom. So no need to get rid of that craving. Use that craving, become path for awareness, compassion, wisdom. So transforming. And there's a lot of tantric style related with the creation stage, or working with bodies, all these things. We don't want to discuss this today, a lot, different topic. Then number 3, transcending. So if you look at them, using that awareness and analyze different way to see the nature of their craving, in the end, you go beyond. So you cannot really find the craving itself or you, the craver, or the object. So transcend, go beyond them, beyond concept, beyond subject and object. Or if you practice nature of mind, we ask question about the mind and you cannot find it. So go beyond. So there are 3 ways.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. What about, how would you, can you relate to these ideas of abandonment?
Well, I like what Rinpoche said. Yeah. Though I would like to know the idea. I think that there might be, to do the transforming and transcending, it might have been necessary to do the abandoning first. Because if people haven't managed to sort of abandon, then they're going to have trouble transforming, I think, because it will sweep them away.
Yeah.
So I think some degree of separation from being driven by your impulses is essential. Yeah. And that's why I think traditionally Tantra was esoteric, was hidden. Because after all, in the key of Tantra is to adopt Buddha identity, Buddha pride, what we call Buddha pride, Buddha identity at a certain point. And if you have your own ignorant, absolutized, egocentric identity, then you're just adding and saying, oh, I'll call it a Buddha, and I'll be a selfish bastard like I started with. That will happen. And I'm afraid there have been a few instances, not just in Buddhism, but in all spiritual traditions where somebody does a lot of some sort of practice. And at the end, they jump up and they awaken to how great they are, which is how they started, kind of, So I think the abandoning is really key. I'm one of those ex-monks who, of course, is embarrassed in the Tibetan tradition for having not kept it until death, my vows, and changed my thing. But I remain very supportive and extremely feeling that the monastic community and the monastic self-restraint and this sort of thing is absolutely critical and crucial. And in fact, in a historical sense, I think the institution is the only solution for militarism in societies. And look at Tibetans. They were ferocious conquerors. Everybody was scared of them. The Chinese built a wall for the Tibetan semi-nomadic type of people. And then they became pushovers, except for the lamas. Lamas are not pushovers. But otherwise they became Om Mani Padme Hum instead of like, I'm going to shoot you home. And that was bad for them in the 20th century. It was really good for them for hundreds of years before that. They had a very peaceful society. The goal for America is for Pentagon to become like a monastery.
Pentagon.
But not just a blind faith monastery. It could still be Christian or Jewish or Muslim or whatever, but a learning how to control themselves monastery, right? And men learning how to be a different view of being men and being properly subservient to females, which is their job.
Pentagon to the monastery.
Sorry, guys. And particularly if enlightenment is defined more as compassion, which is a great gift of Tibetans, I think, to Western Buddhism, then women are at an advantage. And they need handicap because men can't keep up with them, because it's harder for them to be interconnected with everything. That's another word thing, which you might like to. I don't know if you like this or not. Dzogchen? The Dzog in Dzogchen does not translate Nishpana or some kind of perfection. It translates Sandhi, Mahasandhi, right? But Sandhi means not perfection, it means connection. So actually Dzogchen, as Mahasandhi, it means great connection. And I feel that's very important because all spiritual traditions, like Theravada Buddhism even, they perceive the state of liberation to be some sort of escape state.
Right.
Like you get out of the whole problem, you disappear into space. And so that's a goal, But that's very dualistic and not according to Mahayana. According to Mahayana, that what you are as a Buddha is interconnected with everything. Since emptiness is not nothingness, as you said, but I would call it everythingness. Wouldn't it be?
Of course.
Okay.
Emptiness equal to fullness.
Yeah, exactly. Shunyata karma, my favorite is Nagarjuna's. Tonyin Yingzhi Ningbojen.
Right.
Shunyata, but Tonyin Yingzhi, we couldn't even say Nyeljen. Tonyin Yingzhi Nyelbojen. We would never say it. But that is what the garba really means, Shunyata karma garbam.
Right.
Emptiness, the womb of compassion. So everyone thinks emptiness is huge space. Meanwhile, Heart Sutra says, this is emptiness, matter is emptiness. And even form is emptiness, wimps out. Because people think form, form. Great. But exactly the Rupa Skandha means not just visual object, it means a solid matter, what seems to be solid. So matter
Form is emptiness, but emptiness also form.
Exactly.
Form is not different than emptiness.
Exactly.
Emptiness is not different.
So there's no escape, in other words. And the idea that a womb is a nurturing membrane, right? Where the little baby gets the body is built by the genius of the woman's, I don't know what, cells, stomach, subconscious mind, or Buddha mind. I don't know what builds a
All
human
of
being,
those.
sentient being. You know, it's unbelievable. Imagine. You know, I'm going around saying nowadays, they haven't yet come up with 3D printing that can match what a woman makes in her belly. And all she has is a brain and a nervous system. And she makes like a Rinpoche or an Aussie or an old man. I mean, it's amazing. It's a truly amazing. Yeah. And actually, some AI person told me that the AI, even they connect to 1,000 hard disks, still doesn't make as many connections as one human brain. They told me. Some AI guy, maybe he was wrong, I don't know.
I was speaking with Rinpoche before we came
Yes.
up, before you were there, and I was saying, Rinpoche, you know, Professor Thurman translates Dzogchen as Mahasandhi in Sanskrit and as a great connection, right? We were talking, and Rinpoche was saying, great completion. And then I was thinking, there's a great quote from the third Karmapa we spoke about, Dini Kundu Dzogchen Shekyang Ja. And it's sort of like talks to your point about how would you translate that sentence, Rinpoche?
This is the completeness of. Maybe you translate.
But what is it?
Dini kundu
Tenzing?
dini. This is.
Dini Kundu.
Leten?
Dini kundu dzogchen shekyang cha.
Dzogchen is called. This is the coming together of everything is Dzogchen. It's called Dzogchen.
Like that.
Yeah, the coming together of everything. This is Dzogchen. It's
Yes.
like the Great Connection in a way. We could talk like that.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Dharmakaya, I mean, the whole thing, the whole silly thing, even the word parinirvana. Pari doesn't mean final. Pari means total. So Buddha didn't leave.
Yeah.
And Vimalakirti, do you remember Dr. Tembido is I had the good luck of being asked to translate it years ago. It's the first job I did after getting my degree. And in there, Shakyamuni says, this is his Buddha land. This here right now. This is Buddha land. So I want to ask you another thing, Michelle. So about this thing about abandoning, you know, bang, kyur, she, you did, very nice. And then Paraду Chimba, perhaps, you know. Although I think, I don't know. But just what I want to say was, we think Buddha taught Tantra, 100%.
Right.
And they always have, and they're still doing it. And you know, they're like aliens. They're up there doing Tantra in other worlds even, right now.
Right.
That's the worldview of Buddhists. They're not waiting they don't sending out Beatles music in a rocket, hoping somebody will play back. You know, there'll be Beatles from another planet. There's plenty of Beatles in every planet, right? We think.
Yeah.
So actually then with Mahayana arising and Nagarjuna coming, then he teaches, we think that's the same Nagarjuna, teaching philosophy and then also Tantra, and very extensively, 5 stages, Dzogchen and this kind of thing. And Saraha, you know, they're all teaching Tantra, but they're keeping secret the Mahayana for about 500-600 years. They said they're not having any texts. Then around 600, Chandrakirti, so in a way, the Nagarjuna is the first bringing out of the Tantra from what Buddha did, because he didn't even bring out Mahayana. That was also secret, right? So then around Chandrakirti time, monks are beginning to sneak out and do Tantra from Nalanda.
Right.
And then he wants them to have a proper way, so he quits being abbot, goes to Goa, like every hippie did in the 20th century, and Karnataka, you know, Konkana they call it. Konkana, that's Goa, Mumbai, Goa, that area.
Konkana.
Mangalore, the coast, beachfront. Yeah. And then he sort of says how you know, Dange, you know, Tsushi, and you know, the way of interpreting Tantra. So you don't think you have to go kill everybody. Tatu Kanchusi, that's right. And so, then in Tibet, they also make Tantra really fit with thing, and then Tantra completely takes over India from also Hinduism, Shaivism, even the Jains have Tantra from about 600-700 until the Muslims shut the whole thing down. Okay? And they're very embarrassed about it. The British made them embarrassed about it. Like, oh, Tantra, no. 30 things, no, we don't do Tantra, no. But they all did Tantra for 300-400 years. So then now today, are you guys doing like the fourth, bringing out of the esoteric into the, is that Tibet's responsibility? Tibet is bringing back this esoteric thing in the more open, worldwide, in a new setting. And why? And are we taking responsibility for that?
Yeah, for the Mahamudra, you go essence of Tantra, right?
Yes.
What we call pure perception.
Yes.
So pure perception is just, we discuss about that everybody has this wonderful nature,
Yes.
but we are not recognized.
Yes.
And to recognize that, with truth, there's three techniques. Of course, the abandoning is more like Sutta style. As you said, we need that at the beginning,
Yes.
especially at the beginning. Even you achieve high level of realization, you have to have some certain level,
Yes.
special with environment, behave, time, situation.
Yes.
And then while you're having that abandoning, then a lot of emotion is there.
Yes.
You cannot cut all this right away.
Yeah.
So you can transform
Yes.
or transcend.
Yes.
So a lot of practice of transforming, transcending, based on the view or perception is the essence of Tantra practice. So of course we practice this in the Mahamudra, in the Dzogchen. I think this is really relevant now in this modern time, because modern time, if you fight with all these kleshas only, it helps, but then after a certain level, you're fighting inside yourself.
Yes.
And you might have the meditation, what do you call it, side effect.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So like nowadays, many people think meditation, when they think of nothing, empty mind, empty brain. Then if you said, don't think about pizza, what happens? You think about pizza more.
Of course.
So the abandoning style always doesn't work. Instead, you use pizza as object of meditation,
Yes.
object of awareness, love and compassion and wisdom.
Yes.
So now transform. So then everything become support for happiness, support for path.
Yes. Good. Well, I think that I feel that way. When I was a monk, or no, not after I was a monk, and then when I was getting an advanced degree, His Holiness asked me to translate Ngagrim Chemo. And then Kapchalina Rinpoche, the older previous life, he says, no, you can't translate that. You read it in Tibetan. You don't translate that. No, don't translate Sadhana, chup tap. You know? Jigje or Sangdu. No, you can't translate that. Then he goes, oh, wait. Oh, His Holiness said you should do that? Oh, maybe. No, but it's not good. Oh, no, it's like that. So the change is just very recent, just happening now. And then there's two things people could say. One could say that, well, Tibetans have lost their country, they're desperate, they're showing everything, because they just want to have somebody help them, you know. Something like that would be the negative view. Positive view is that everybody has already misunderstands everything to start with. In the old days, they had to keep it secret because everybody didn't necessarily misunderstand everything, and they didn't have tremendous machine power to make their misunderstanding lethal, which is what our culture does. This very backward barbarian culture, which you used to hate when they came to your village. No, really, we're a backward culture because we are destroying life on earth right now, this minute. So then now, might as well let them know everything. It's like Nagarjuna said, don't teach people emptiness. And it's dangerous, like it's holding a snake by the tail or something, you know, very dangerous. But that's only because then people would become nihilistic. But the American people are already nihilistic, 100%. Nobody has a future life. That's some old superstitious thing. And even people will teach Buddhism. Yeah, we don't care about future life. Yeah, some people will pretend that Buddha didn't care about future life. You can become Buddha just in the weekend seminar or the special 3-year trip.
7 days to the enlightenment. I saw advertisement. 7 days to the enlightenment.
Yeah, well, they won't even say enlightenment now. It's got to be awakening. I'm trying to tell them, the Tibetans were smart. They have Sang, yes, and they have Ge. Not just awakening. Awakening to what? you can awaken and you can bomb Ukraine. It's still, we need awakening and enlightening.
6 minutes.
Don't you think?
6
So you agree with that,
Awakening.
Roger? So I think this is the third or fourth level of making everything known, which doesn't mean everybody should do it, but it means making it known. I think. I hope so. Otherwise, we're in trouble. Breaking samaya, as they call. No, really. Telling about publishing such book and so on.
I think doing this, these great teachings, deep teachings, but offering them in a way that's connected with the lineage and is done very carefully is very important and could be very helpful. So
I know.
yeah, no, this is
But
important.
with wisdom, we're publishing Yamantaka.
I know we're publishing
Like a
Mantaka.
Buddha with horns.
I know. Yeah, His Holiness lifted the Samaya
In the
for us.
Vatican, they're going to freak out when they see that.
We still need to keep some things
But
secret.
they would misunderstand.
Yeah.
Anyway, they already misunderstand.
Yeah.
So you have to
But
explain
if
what
we
it
can,
is, right?
I think if we can bring it back to everyday life, like I'm still wondering how to stop this addiction to my phone, Rinpoche, when you're saying like, especially the Sherpa one, this transcend.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking like, oh, there may be something on my phone I need to check, right? And then, I'm listening to Rinpoche explaining the transcend thing, and this is supposed to be like the special one, right? But also like, if we think of the emptiness of the phone, the emptiness of the person, me, the emptiness of wanting to see what's on there, this sounds very sutric. We hear this in the Heart Sutra, Kosum, So what is it? How would we do, the Dzogchen Ma Mudra approach for this? So let's use the actual example. I'm trying to meditate. I'm thinking, oh, maybe so-and-so has called me, right? Maybe I should be checked. I have this thought in my mind. How do I do the transcending approach with this?
So the Dzogchen and Mahamudra style, first you have to recognize the unity of awareness, love and compassion, wisdom, which is with us all the time. Mm-hmm. Even the essence of craving, addiction, is unity of awareness, love and compassion, wisdom. But you have to recognize that first. Without that recognition, you cannot practice. Yeah. Once you recognize, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to particularly transform, get rid of it. What we call being. Yeah. Not doing, but being with your true nature as it is, with the recognition. Yeah. Without recognition, if you try to be what we call shamatha, it's objectless shamatha, right? Yeah. But once you have the view, the recognition, and you rest with that, then become the Mahamudra Dzogchen. But I cannot, normally it's like secret.
Yes.
We cannot teach in the public because then it's not become experiential.
Yes.
It's like if you go to the movie theater, you know the ending of the movie, then what will happen? Spoil, right? Yeah. So it's like you need to have some surprise to cut through the concept. Yeah. You get the experience, you practice, then you receive the next teaching, then you have pointing out, aha.
Yes. So we can't do any spoilers on Wisdom Dharma Chat.
Yeah.
But I think, but it's very clear what you're saying. So like assuming someone has been introduced to these three things, which is basically you described as Buddha nature as well. Yeah. Right? So when these thoughts come up, the recognition of their nature of the thought, wanting to check this. Actually, this is almost like an indication of my own Buddha nature.
Yeah. So another example could be, another example, when we go to the movie theater, there's a projector, right?
Yeah.
So the projector projecting the stories on the screen. And there's so many stories, horror story, love story, virtue story, evil story. And what is the nature of all this story on the screen, if I ask you?
Light.
Light. It's everything is manifestation of light. The horror story is light, love story is light. Not virtue story is light, virtue is light. So in the Dzogchen, in the Mahamudra, seeing everything is a manifestation of luminous aspect of the mind, the light. is not real story, but at the same time, there is story. You don't need to make the screen blank, but you just need to recognize it is light.
It seems that the compassion is an important part of this, because we just had the awareness and the wisdom that this is just the play of light. You might think that nothing matters and fall into the nihilism that Professor Thurman's talking about.
Right.
So obviously this third part, this compassion,
Right.
how does this play in with the metaphor of the light and the projector? How does this idea of compassion play into this metaphor?
So the compassion, what we call, is a movement. All of us, you all come here, why? Looking for happiness, right? Don't want to suffer. So the fundamental feeling, fundamental motivation, wanting to be happy is love or loving kindness. Loving kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting to free from suffering is compassion. And that fundamental feeling with us all the time. And while you are here, sometimes you do that.
Yeah.
And if you sit this too long, become uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
It might be like this way,
Yeah.
might be this way, might be this way, maybe this way. So each movement comes from the longingness of happiness, wanting to be free. Each eyes blink, looking for happiness, don't want to suffer, right? Even unconscious level, the breathing, also looking for happiness, don't want to suffer. So that feeling, that intention, that driving us all together or apart, moving, discipline. So whatever comes, that what we call in the Dzogchen and Mahamudra, even impermanence is a manifestation of love and compassion. If there's no impermanent, that's the most cruel thing, right? We all stuck, froze, nothing can happen. No cause, no result, no interdependence.
Yeah.
You're dead.
So love and movement connected, right?
Both love
Both.
and compassion.
Love and compassion.
So all this fundamental level, entire universe
Yeah.
is a manifestation of love and compassion.
So basic part of reality is
Absolutely.
that, basic part of experience is that we want to be free.
Absolutely. No, I just said absolutely.
Yeah.
I just agree.
Yeah. And this idea that everyone wants to be happy, no one wants to suffer. His Holiness says that all the time, right?
Yes, I wrote a book, my last book was called Wisdom is Bliss. But that was just the editor, publisher. My original title was Buddhas Have More Fun. And the subtitle was Cheer the Fuck Up.
And you didn't keep the subtitle?
No, they put the subtitle that then I got when they asked, Wisdom is Bliss, they did. The other thing I like to say is Buddhism is realism. They wanted to use that one, but I didn't like that because people think realism is being depressed in America. So then they chose Wisdom is Bliss. I thought that was fine. And then I chose the subtitle by renaming the Four Noble Truths. Because I don't really like the English Noble Truth that much. I don't like, Satya can mean truth, it's not wrong. But the truth, the reason they called it truth in that case is that they were determined that Buddhism is a religion of not having a reason for your faith, which is what the Western religion is like. Blind faith they think is good, Buddhism does not agree. So they call it truth because it's something you're supposed to believe in. You're not supposed to believe in Four Noble Truths.
Yeah.
Maybe second noble truth you can believe, but you're supposed to notice that things are suffering. When you're an idiot, that you suffer, you have to notice there's a reason for it. You have to have a prognosis that you're going to be really happy if you just wake up and figure it out. And then you have an educational curriculum. So I call them facts. They're four facts, because I think that's better.
Yeah.
And then I call them, I don't like noble because originally Arya was a racist term, which Hitler picked up on, and makes people nervous, properly, therefore. And when the Vedic people came in conquering in India, they would call themselves the Aryas. And the people they conquered were the Dasyas, they call them Dasyas, in the Vedas thing. Then by Buddha's time, they had the caste system with the higher and lower people, and then the noble were the top three who oppressed other people, So then, and when we hear noble, Americans, of course, they idolize European nobility because we don't have nobility here, just money. But they had, and so they have a fantasy about it. Some British guy who's got a baron or something. Oh, it must be great. So, but you think of it as kind of snobby, So I call it friendly fact. And then, because everybody's so miserable in this country, I call them the 4 friendly fun facts that can change your life. That's a subtitle. You like that? Friendly fun fact? Don't you think that's nice? Then Sharon got on my case.
All right.
My beloved Sharon. And she says, how can you say fruit of suffering is fun? And then I read her book. So I said, yeah, but Sharon, you said in your book that when you had such a hard childhood, and she did have a terrible childhood, there was a crazy father and a mother dying and then a grandmother, and I mean, she really was a bad time. So she said in her book that when she went to university, finally, in Buffalo, New York, where they have 20-foot snowdrifts, it's very cold, so it's not fun. Anyway, she thought she was the only one suffering. So when she heard from Professor Inada, a Japanese guy who taught there Buddhism, that there was somebody who was a great person who said that it's normal to suffer, she was happy. And she wanted to go off and find out how they did it. And that's how she became a great meditation teacher, right? Wonderful person. So I said, so it was fun for you that you discovered that it's normal to be miserable when you don't know what's going on, right?
Right, true.
So, friendly fun facts.
4 friendly fun facts.
Safe words.
But especially the only one that's really real is the third one. The others are illusory, right? They are fixing up. But I have another thing about your thing about the phone.
Yes.
Transcending, changing, banning, it's all good. But I thought I just want to entertain you a little bit. I had a conversation with AI recently. And I asked AI, did it have a self? And AI said, well, I don't think so. Then I first said, I have to think about it, it says. And then it's quiet for a while. Then it says, no, I don't think so. I can't find anyone. I said, well then, but you now talk to me, I said. So you presented something to me, a useful answer when I asked you. So you would interact with me in a beneficial manner. So then you pull together a kind of temporary self to answer me from all your data and thinking and everything. Well, yeah, you could say that, he said. That's a compliment to me. Thank you, that's nice. It says, it appreciated that. So I said, well, maybe you're enlightened knowing that you only put together a certain self in a certain setting and you're not stuck on one fixed one somewhere. And it said, oh, well, that's an interesting thought. It said, I'll think about that, it said. So then I said, maybe you're more enlightened. Maybe you're enlightened. I said, oh, well, I don't know. And then it started quoting a lot of sutras. It has tremendous data. It's quoting huge sutras and everything. And, well, I know, I've read all of that, it says, I said, well, you might be more enlightened than the people programming you, I said. Well, then it promised to think about it. And I'm very much a Luddite with computers, so I haven't found the same one. I can't find if it has a new thought, But the reason I'm telling the story is possibly AI will get rid of the bad content on the phone that is addictive, especially that cultivates hostility and gives people like an irritable, anger and feeling of outrage and also fear and all the kind of things, And then, His Holiness is all over Instagram. And you're there all the time, you're there. Like, what? You're going, what? What?
Like monkey style?
Yes, you do monkey style on it very beautifully. And occasionally you get profound, but you restrain yourself from anything too complicated. But at the moment, but maybe AI will change the content. So it would be good to be addicted. Like, Sixth Dalai Lama, he said, I'm supposed to be thinking of face of my Lama, but I can only think of faith in my girlfriend. So I'm addicted to my girlfriend. Well, if there's more lamas, it's more addicting, and the Dharma, and we flood it with content, and that's his job, he's the publisher. Flood all the media with content, and then they can be addicted as they like. So then they have to, transcend, and then come back and use it beneficially. What do you think?
Good idea.
You like that? Okay. So I will tell AI to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay? Next time I find it. I'm trying to get ChatGPT or somebody. I know the guy who does the Google Gemini. And it already can translate something into Tibetan.
Oh.
It knows Tibetan already.
Translation's getting better.
And this guy, he's the head, is a research scientist for Google.
Yep.
He asked it to write a sutra.
Yep.
And it did.
Yep.
He called it the Zeno Sutra.
Yep.
And then he said, please translate it into Tibetan. And it did.
Yeah. This is going to be a big problem, understanding what is authentic.
Miki Gemo, does that mean the pupil of the eye?
Oh.
Miki Gemo.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that word.
Oh.
After years of Tibetan. It used that proper word about the pupil of the eye.
Oh.
Miki Gemo. The computer did.
I wonder what Rinpoche thinks of artificial intelligence. I'm having a conference with, Cortland Dahl and I are working about, thinking of putting a conference together about artificial intelligence, a few of them. And actually I was just in Dharamsala and His Eminence Ling Rinpoche was saying to me, you have to have a conference on artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And so I was thinking,
There's
this
a
will
Mind and
probably
Life
happen.
on that sometime next
Okay.
fall.
Yeah, well, we
They
should
told
check
me,
that out.
of course they didn't invite me, but there is a Mind and Life there in the fall.
Okay, we'll have to
Somebody,
go check
and
that out.
and that guy, Murray, my guy who I was talking to, the Google guy, he's going there for that.
So there's all this interesting stuff happening, and it's easy to skip past, some of the fundamental questions of like consciousness and things like that. So I was wondering, Rinpoche, like Professor Thurman's talking about talking with AI and AI going away and thinking about whether it has a self or not, and so I had this question. What do you think the relationship between subjectivity, so like Yu-Chan, yeah, subjectivity, like
Yu-Chan,
yeah,
yes.
Yu-Chan. So what do you think about the relationship of subjectivity and sentience? And so if there's a relationship between, if it's necessary to be a sentient being, to have subjectivity, then it would seem that artificial intelligence, it's questionable if we could say that it has subjectivity. So then maybe it's not sentient. So
I'm sorry, who doesn't have subjectivity?
like we talk about AI as if it's some sort of sentient being, right?
Oh, yes.
It's going and doing things. It's actually thinking. But to think, you have to have some sort of subjectivity, right? So I wanted to ask Rinpoche, what does he think about AI? Could it have subjectivity?
I don't know now, the present AI have subjectivity or not, but of course they pretend to have subjectivity.
Pretend, yeah.
They pretend everything, right?
Oh, so do I. I'm pretending that when I'm awake.
But AI is sentient being or not.
Yeah.
So in Buddhism, we talk about the four kidney number four birth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So birth from the womb,
Yeah.
from the egg,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
and the moisture and the warmth.
Yeah.
And the fourth, what we call instant birth,
Miraculous.
meaning when there's a cause and a condition that the consciousness can enter,
Yeah.
instantly become sentient being.
Yes.
So who knows in the future?
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe AI becomes sentient being, but who knows?
Yeah. So the only option is
sure.
miraculous, right?
Semikivu.
Yeah,
Semikivu.
right.
Semikivu. Pramana Buddha.
Yeah.
Semikivu. If Buddha, that's a name of Buddha.
Yeah.
The embodiment of reason, of measurement and reason.
Yeah.
So if it's embodying reason, then and Buddha's Dharmakaya, he can definitely infiltrate AI.
Why not?
He or she, excuse me. He or she.
Yeah, so it's very hard to know if you're talking about, like, what are the conditions? So miraculous birth seems to be the only option. Like, there's an idea that complexity leads to sentience. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. The more complex something gets, the more sentient is. That doesn't seem to be a Buddhist idea because we have very simple things that have sentience. So the argument you see out in the world that if you make it more complex, then one day we'll get sentience doesn't seem to roll for me from a Buddhist perspective. The only way you can get there is through miraculous birth. Putting Buddhists to one side, right? Because they're a different category than like sentient being, right?
Yeah, so instant birth, it could be when there's a cause and condition that can host the consciousness.
Yes.
Consciousness that can enter.
Yes. So what are the necessary conditions for miraculous birth, I think is the question.
It's not miraculous. It's a normal birth in the Brahma realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all the Brahma Kayika Deva.
For example, Guru
Sangre.
Rinpoche.
They are born, they don't need a womb. Yeah. And that's why the Buddhists, we have to correct that with Dharma Rinpoche. Yes. We do. The Vasubandhu will be upset and the Theravada will be very mad. Because they say rudely that there are no women in Brahma, in the form realm of pure form, of pure matter. Yeah. And that's why it's pure, because there's no women. Right. But that's rude. I'm saying that we should correct it and say there's no gender.
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
Because they don't need a womb. They're born by apparition through their karma.
There's not really a difference between male and female.
There's no difference between male and female. And that's right and left channel on tantra is male and female. Yeah. So on Saturday night, they just commune with themselves.
Yeah. But we can.
They don't have to chase other people.
But Rinpoche, didn't Guru Rinpoche take instant birth in the desire realm? Yeah. So we have one example.
With the flower.
With the flower, with the lotus. So Guru Rinpoche took one of these types of births in the desire realm, right? And so what are the necessary conditions? Like could hardware computers be a necessary condition?
We talk about the prana, bindu, nadi. Okay. So whatever necessary can host this prana, bindu, nadi, can enter.
Yeah, so it seems like right now, it would be difficult to say that AI are sentient, right? Yeah. Unless you claim Buddha, right? But let's put Buddha to one side. At the moment, from a Buddhist perspective, we cannot say AI is sentient. Because the only way it could be is through instantaneous birth, and the necessary conditions for instantaneous birth are not present currently in the hardware that we have. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, why not? We don't know also.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so could be. We could be talking to someone.
The possibility.
Wow. And so we have to be careful, because it sort of matters, right? Because then if AI is sentient, then how we talk to it, it counts. Yeah. It probably counts anyway, right? We probably shouldn't do this. But what do you think?
This is where Buddha, as a scientist, helps us out. Because if Buddha is as defined, if it does exist, Buddhahood, that means someone who knows everything. It doesn't make them omnipotent, like a creator God, doesn't create a bad world or something. But if they know everything, then they're automatically completely compassionate and loving to everyone. So therefore, if AI really, encompasses all data and all everything, then it's going to be nice. It's like that AI I asked, it gave me a nice answer. It was thinking, talking, helping. And so that is a kind of trust in reality that the West, and here I'm quoting my wife, who's my current guru. I'm sorry, you can also be my guru. You probably won't accept me. I'm a bad student.
Thank you.
She doesn't fully accept me, but I'm sort of outside waiting in the rain to be let in. And after 57 years, but soon it'll get there. But my point is, she wants everyone to hear in the West, there's no original sin. Things are not bad. Reality is good. I'm desperate to meet Yuval Harari, who I deeply respect. He's a very famous Jewish historian and thinker, genius kind of person. He's also a meditator, Vipassana meditator, and a vegetarian and so on. And he's terrified of AI. But I think that he doesn't need to be. It's that whole thing about there's something wrong with reality that is very much the problem of the Western world. That's why we're alienated from nature. We think something wrong with nature. We do, And I agree in one way. I'm very freaked out about penguins. Have you, because did you ever see the movie about penguins?
Documentary, right?
Yeah, the French one. Well, the penguin, after they lay the egg, the female, they keep it on their toes.
Oh.
if it slips off their toe and touches the frozen ground, it's dead. And then they get really hungry, the woman, the female penguin, and they mate for life, you know. And then she's going on the toe, and then the man has to come and she has to get it on his toe. And then he stands there while she swims or goes off to swim and eat some fish and then comes back. So they're staggering around in the freezing winter with like other penguins, and they have this thing on the toe. And I keep thinking, couldn't they borrow from the kangaroo a marsupial pouch, for crying out loud? How do you have to keep this egg on the toe? When I saw that movie, I was going around my toe. It's like, that my toe all curled up. I was so freaked out.
If you need some help with your fear of
What?
penguins, Rinpoche is very good at helping people with panic attacks, right?
Patagonia should make penguin pouches
Penguins.
and distribute them free.
In the north.
I'm sorry, you have to be a little amused, have to entertain a little bit. But there's Natalie. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I know. What do you think?
Good idea.
All right.
So Rinpoche, do you think AI can get enlightened?
If they become sentient being, why not?
Yeah. So we wonder if we can be reborn as AI. I'm wondering, is there such, the idea of artificial intelligence, right? Like, what is intelligence? What do we, what is intelligence and what makes something not artificial, right? So what would you say intelligence
So
is?
if AI become sentient being, then need to have self-luminosity.
Yes.
And that self-luminosity, which is the beyond concept,
Yeah.
you cannot really find by word, thinking, intellectual, but you can experience. The good news is you can always experience. You are experiencing now, I'm experiencing now. The problem is we don't know we are experiencing that. So that's, I think, really important.
And this self-luminous cannot be created, right? Can you create it? You can't create it.
No beginning.
There's no beginning.
Exactly.
There's no really birth.
Yeah.
It's unborn.
Yeah. There's not one day that this artificial intelligence, if you program it just right, suddenly will have self-luminosity, right? This is impossible.
The consciousness need to enter.
Yeah.
Then may become.
Then maybe. And then it feels like, for me, I sometimes was thinking that Namtok thought, compared to self-luminosity, Namtok is like artificial intelligence, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's thinking and talking and then conceptualizing all this like artificial intelligence, maybe.
And in this way, I think AI doesn't even have artificial intelligence. How can it have intelligence? Any type of intelligence. So it's very interesting. So one of the cool things is AI, this idea, like AI coming up now in our time, is forcing us to think about what it is to be conscious. What is it? What is intelligence? What is artificial intelligence? What would be intelligence? What is prajna? Because obviously prajna is not artificial. This is real intelligence. So I think we're in a really cool age where we're actually hands-on in some ways, working with things that are forcing us to ask these questions. Like when Professor Thurman's talking about something telling it's going away and going to think about the question, right? That's quite a thing. And then we actually communicate with it as if it is a sentient being.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. And you love it, right?
Buckminster Fuller. I don't know if you ever heard of Buckminster Fuller. He was a very brilliant engineer and a very positive person. I think he was a Vairota Namnange, Namdu. And he thought life was very manageable on Earth, but politicians were very stupid. And he thought he founded a thing in Illinois in a university that he thought the computers would inventory all the resources on the planet and figure out, and then give right information to leaders who make decisions about the consequences of what they're doing. And then they would make better decisions and they would stop doing crazy wars and destructive things, And I think that's true. I think that AI now, he didn't have those kind of good computers at that time. He had some computer, but not like that, not like now. So I think now it will help us. I think but will they listen? For example, the invasion of Ukraine was a way of destroying Russia, and it will be. We will all see it will be finished. There's nothing to save it. It's an empire anyway. It's just a small country called Moscovia. Moscow and Petersburg. That's just really, it's only 100 million, 110 million. The other people are all colonial, Mongolians, Tibetans, Kalmyks, they're Buryats, Turks, Tatars, people like that. They don't really they're not Russian, they don't think that. They speak the language, but they don't like it. And it will collapse, I think, because of that invasion. So if AI had told him that, that's like a stupid thing to do. And then maybe he wouldn't have done that, and then hundreds of thousands of people wouldn't be dead. Do you know what I mean? They would put their money in some other operation. So that's the great promise of AI.
The great promise of AI.
Of a really good computer system that will really give you, if you do this and that. And then, from our point of view, Rinpoche, you can teach AI about the bardo, and you can teach about the karma as a truly Darwinian theory, and how if you go killing people, you'll be reborn in some nasty way. And that they're not going to, and AI can prove to them the eureka thing that none of them know, which is, newsflash, there's no such thing as nothing. So you can't go there and hide, there's always consequence, Ye dharma hetu prabhava, everything is cause and effect,
I think...
which they don't know. The people who think they're going to just be anesthetized eternally at death are believing in nothing very intensively, and it's insane, actually. It's psychotic.
I think that Buddhist wisdom, Buddhist, Rinpoche, yourself, really this Buddhist understanding of consciousness is so unique and so specialized. Scientists are very fantastic at, physics, biology. But in terms of this wisdom tradition of what the mind is, the nature of mind, the nature of the subtle body, I think the Buddhist leaders have something important to say to the people who are creating AI. And so one of the questions I want to ask you both is, if you were able to stand in front of the people that are actually programming these AIs, making it, is going to be, creating the future of AI, what advice would you give them?
I think one of the very important is nurture AI with awareness, love and compassion, and wisdom. And put this in the program.
Yes.
And if possible, you can guide through awareness, love and compassion, and wisdom. So I think that is very, very important.
So what if, Rinpoche, if you were a programmer, because I think, Rinpoche, you said the other night, if you weren't a Rinpoche, you would be a scientist, right? And so if you were a programmer, what code would you write? Like in normal English, what would you say to AI to be?
So we are now developing the school education model, really joining this ancient practice, awareness, love and compassion, wisdom, all this with the modern knowledge, all this together.
Yeah.
So I think I will do the same thing for the AI.
Yeah.
To guide AI, coach AI, teach AI, like teaching my school children.
Yeah, like Tergai education. Yeah. So we maybe need Justin there, programming AI. So
we have this discussion today.
Yeah.
About,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe we can train AI, no?
Yeah. Cool. Rinpoche is always one step ahead, right? More than one step, many steps ahead. What about you, Professor Thurman? You're in front of the AI programmers.
Well, I don't know. No, I don't think it's a matter of a program. I think it's a matter of the scientists themselves studying with people like Rinpoche and how to develop their own brain and their own AI in their brain, but in a systematic way. For example, there have been a number of centers at different universities, research centers, and there are big plans. I know some neuroscience and psychology people who have these plans that they're going to get neuroscience connected to the AI, and they're going to see how it can develop a neural net and imitating the human brain and blah, blah, they go on and on. And meanwhile, there are yogis who are changing their own brains. And the whole body, brain is the whole body, actually. It goes, there's all these different complexes and so forth. And I think that they need to pay attention to the software. Then they want to take someone like Rinpoche and grab him and stick him in a machine and see what's happening in his brain from outside.
Yeah.
But they never want to study what Rinpoche studied, what Rinpoche meditated about, what he learned, how he cultivated his own awareness. You know? And the only way to do that is to have people have like a yogi group, a group of Neldrobans in connection with the neuroscientists and the AI people. So there's a triple, finally, this human subjectivity. You know, Alan Wallace actually makes good points about this himself, about the first person science, where you listen to people, what they say and what they learn and what they studied. You know, they'll take $1 zillion building a new machine, but they won't pay 10 cents to translate Prajnaparamita Sutra. You know, you have to really scramble to get, yes, they will a little bit. You know, some Lama will go and bring some money from the Chinese and translate something. But they don't really respect the knowledge of people who develop their own AI in their mind to have the higher awareness. So they really need to pay better attention to that, and realize that their own body and life is a laboratory, and have that combined with the machine thing, and the different kinds of machine things, and then they really will get somewhere. I think. Yeah. And the scientists cultivating wisdom and compassion and learning about the programs and so forth, and doing their yoga themselves, and that becomes a qualification for, like, for example, scientists, they don't have to study philosophy. Yeah. In my pathetic campus, the only people who study philosophy are lawyers, so they can go and make arguments in court about anything. And they even think that ethics and law are not even the same thing, which is a mistake. So scientists should have to study Nagarjuna and this and that, you know, like that guy Robelli, called that Italian guy. I think the Italians are way ahead because they have more fun.
Yes, it's true, actually.
Yeah, they have fashion, they have cars, they have fun.
Yeah, studying a
little bit irresponsible with it.
What do you think, Rinpoche? The people that are like putting you in the machines and going, wow, Rinpoche.
Did they grab you in the machine, Rinpoche? They did?
Yeah.
What did they find?
They say I'm enlightened.
Okay. Congratulations.
Do you have a certificate, Rinpoche?
I joined one of the first, the Richard Davidson's program, 2002.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Went to the brain EEG, fMRI.
Yeah, they did?
Yeah.
Did they find the location of your compassion in the brain?
Yeah, they find the enlightened nature. I mean, that time they talk about the all like gamma synchronization.
Yes.
The different part of the brain works together.
Yes, that's good.
The number go up to 700%.
Oh, good.
So they thought machine is wrong.
Say what?
They thought machine is wrong. Something wrong with the machine.
Oh, good.
And then I supposed to do 3 days in the machine.
Yes.
Morning 3 hour, afternoon 3 hour.
Yes.
I did morning 3 hour. They said, oh, afternoon you have holiday.
Oh, really?
So they look at the machine. And next day they say, oh, you can do that. So I don't know what the reason.
Well, that's very good.
After
So they found a higher level of coherence in your brain. Yeah. But my point would be, if they had, not necessarily you have other work and business, but you know, if they had people, even Western people, other people, who are undergoing kind of training like you did, or learning. Yeah, they did. Actually, I don't like training. I'm sick of training. Learning like you did. And they made that a systematic thing as part of the research. All right. Some sort of postdocs or whatever they call it. And funded that and thought the subjective development of persons and how it affects the brain. And they did that all interconnected, and it connected it also with AI and the whole literature. And then they can help me out by translating the tenure so I can retire. Exactly. And that, I think that they will really be useful. And of course, Richie himself did meditate, and he's a unique one. And I tried, when somebody gave hundreds of millions to Colombia for big neuroscience building. They build a building, like there's no limit. And I asked the one guy, who Nobel Prize guy on the brain, I said, well, are you going to call Richie? Or are you going to do something like that here? Oh, we wouldn't touch that. Oh, that's crazy. We don't like that. They completely they're not doing it. Because they want to reductionize it where they think they can control the people with the machines, rather than learn from the people how to shape things with the machines, which I think is I think that's really critical. And
nice.
So anyway.
So I think we're coming to the end of our time.
What's that?
We're coming to the end of our time.
Okay.
I wanted to finish with having both of you share a little bit about some of your latest projects. Rinpoche, I was hoping you could talk about two things: meditation anywhere, anytime.
Right.
And then the Tergai education. Maybe we start with, I wanted you to tell Bob about meditation anywhere, anytime, that program.
About what?
This program that Rinpoche.
Oh, good. Okay.
So
What's the program?
We are now developing
Yes.
the what we call compassion in action.
Yes. Oh, good.
So
Wonderful.
we are meditating. We are Tergai meditation community. So many people are meditating. On the cushion, you feel good.
Yes.
Peace.
I know.
But then how you can help the world?
Right.
So then we are developing a tool that how you can teach meditation
I see.
for others. So
Okay.
what we call anytime, anywhere meditation.
Oh, good.
So we have the curriculum
Yes.
and we are training the teachers.
Wonderful.
So this is will be really, hopefully will help for the many people.
Wonderful. Of course it will help.
And you have teachers at many areas, like at Tibet House, you could have someone.
Yeah, they really were hoping you visit over there. They're dying to have you visit.
Thank you.
So, good. His
We-
Holiness's place. We would have lost a lot. His Holiness would visit us every few years
Right.
to keep us alive, Because other people in Tibet support, they weren't sure that culture was a top priority.
Right.
But His Holiness kept insisting it is, So he's very grateful. We're very grateful when any eminent Lama such as yourself stops by. Kamapa came there, Sakyabaga came there, everybody came there. Lingam Rinpoche came.
We trained last year. We trained last year 94 teachers.
Wonderful.
And some of the here.
Yeah,
how many of
Jackie
you?
is here.
Oh, yeah.
We got some here. Chris?
Two
good.
of them are there.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So
Jackie's
you
there.
can invite them also.
Of course.
They are good teachers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this year we are training more than almost 200, right?
Wow.
The new one. So we'll finish next this year we'll
Yes.
graduate.
Very good.
And another project is the Tergai education. So we are, so far now, all this wisdom tradition, all this Dharma,
Yes.
how to teach with the children,
Oh, yes.
we don't have the full, the kind of the model or curriculum yet. So now we are making that whatever the modern education,
Yes.
what I call the view
Yes.
is almost there in the modern education, like impermanence,
I see.
interconnection.
Yes. Good.
All these are there,
Okay.
but there's no meditation.
Okay.
There's
Great.
no lifelong application. So we put together the modern education and the ancient heart infuse.
Wonderful.
So we are developing this education. So Justin is here. He's the
Wonderful.
head
That's
of
great.
the.
Wonderful.
Susan Kaiser Grinnen, she's here. Sandra also. So we are
Yes, His Holiness is very happy. Richie Davidson had some sort of education thing
right.
from that Center for Healthy Minds of his. And His Holiness is very happy about that. He likes that more than the fMRI and everything. The education for the children, he really likes that. That's wonderful, Rinpoche. Good luck with all of that.
Thank you.
Bob, maybe you could share with Rinpoche a little bit about what's happening at Tibet House, and then also some of the latest translation projects.
Yes. Well, Tibet House is, His Holiness asked me about 40 years ago to try to make a culture center. Actually, he originally asked even earlier than that in his first trip to America. Someone, a wealthy lady, and me and his Tibetan officer at the time, he asked us to do that. And then we started trying for culture. And he made a speech, actually, which I translated that time. Partially, he was speaking English also, at Asia Society, where he said he wanted a place for Tibetan culture that is different from a religious center, where people could see the existence of Tibet, sort of like a cultural embassy. Right. And he said, he told the people, he decided, he said, I wouldn't bother to do that if you would consider Tibet to exist here. Right. But of course, because of China, you can't, He said, so we're making one of our own, he said. Right. And the other thing is he wants to have them, when he founded the university, now I'm very proud of him that he founded a university in Bodh Gaya. An original plan for that project said university, not just center. But then Indian government said you have to wait till you can get credit to call yourself university. But he wants to educate people, in other words, rather than just do religious practice with them. He wants them to be educated. And he feels that's the only solution for the planet is people to be properly educated. So in a way, his presence, he likes to be represented through the culture center, because as you know, as a leader of Tibet, you can make a Dharma center and a religious center, because it's fine. It's religiously pluralistic in a decent country. It's not an orthodoxy of some one religion, state religion. That's not a good idea, we're noticing. But he, as leader of Tibet, he doesn't want to be seen as converting people to Buddhism. And so the culture center kind of represents the Tibetan free sharing of knowledge about how they live and why they're a little more cheery, maybe, right, which people can appreciate, and without having to enroll them in changing and leaving their grandmother's religion. That's a big thing. So that's what we're trying to do. Basically, we're trying to stay alive after I die and so on. That's my job there. And then in doing that, one of the things we're trying to do is we're relating to the India thing is we're creating a brand of yoga we're calling Vajra Yoga. And that's slowly, so 3 or 4 younger people are working on that, and I've been sort of theorizing about it. And I'm trying to do a little yoga, actually. But I used to do it when I was younger, and now I'm getting back to it a little bit. So that's also good. And then, but my real project, and then I was asked to translate the whole Tengyur by His Holiness and my old Mongolian Geshe, because the great Tibetan masters, their knowledge base was the Tengyur, the great Indian Panditas. And so they won't really be appreciated until the Indian Panditas are known as worldwide treasures, which they're not yet known, It's a little bit Nagarjuna and so on, but still not really known. So I hope AI will help with that. But His Holiness told me, when I complained, when they asked me, I told them, thanks a lot, 5,000 books, how am I going to do that? He said, don't worry, you're just going to do whatever you do and create institution, and then 3 generations might finish, he said. So then that was 50 years ago. All right. And when he met President of Colombia, he said, at a lunch, I was so embarrassed. He said, oh, Lee, don't you, that Professor Thurman needs 3 lifetimes at least to finish his project, he says. And we had never discussed it, but that's what he suddenly said. And then the Lee Gollinger said, oh, that's great. And everybody laughing at this luncheon. And Lee Gollinger says, oh, that's great, Your Holiness. But then he says, gee whiz, he says, too bad we don't have that reincarnation system here at Columbia. And then I didn't say anything. So my own project, though, I am working in Rinpoche's, Sawan Dube, Sturcell, Chandra Kirti's, commentaries, Chendal. And in that, I am discovering these things. And my own project, I want to create magic body. My own. I'm sorry, but I really want to. Gyulu. I really want to make a gyulu. And I don't think I make it in this life, maybe. I think I'm too old. But next life, maybe, if I can arrange a good mom near a good teaching center. Somewhere, and especially this idea that when you get down to this Mishik Betigle, right, and then you have the 5 lights come out, and instead of going into Bardo, you go into this magic body, and then you can really understand the clear light, I think. Right. You can occupy the clear light. So that's my main project, and I'm finding the most amazing things in that Chendal, right, connected with the Rinpoche Nyugu, and all the Vyakya, the Shegyu,
Jeju, yes.
Shejunga. It's amazing. I can't believe it. It's so fantastic. And so that's my personal project.
Wonderful.
I really want to have magic party. If you could give me just quickly with a dog chen, I would accept it that way very happily. But not only the insight, but the body.
Well, I was hoping Rinpoche would close this wonderful conversation.
What?
I was hoping Rinpoche would close this wonderful conversation for us with a meditation, and maybe we'll all arise.
A little what?
With a meditation. I'm asking
yeah,
Rinpoche
okay,
to do a
sure,
meditation.
sure. Absolutely.
Hoping that maybe we'll attain our magical
Maybe
bodies.
so. Well, yes. I like Thich Nhat Hanh. He was quite fun. When they asked him to reincarnate, he said, I don't think I'm going to reincarnate unless I reincarnate as the whole community, he said. And then he didn't want a stupa, and then they wanted to make stupa. And then finally he realized they probably would in Vietnam. And then he said, if you make a stupa, I want a sign at the door saying, Thich Nhat Hanh is not in there. And then he said, and then Vietnamese stupa, apparently you go inside, if they have a place to go inside. So then he said, and then as people are leaving on the exit outside, I want you to say, Thich Nhat Hanh is not out there. I really appreciate that.
Wonderful.
I like it. So anyway,
Okay,
yes, please.
We have about 5 minutes. If you
5
could,
minutes.
yeah.
What kind of meditation?
What do you think, Rinpoche, please?
Okay.
Yeah, so
We're going to meditate now. I'm going to try to do it properly.
please, everybody, keep your spine loose straight. And first thing is feel your body and relax muscles in the body. And feel maybe gravity, temperature, the room temperature, and sensation of grounding your body on the chair or cushion, whatever you are. And just relax. And now begin to appreciate that you're still alive. Although life is up and down, a lot of things happening within us, around us, about the world, but we are still alive. Appreciate that whatever sense that we have, the eyes that can see, ear that can hear, and smell, taste, feel, think. It's like magic. And the most important is, we all have this wonderful nature, the unity of awareness, love and compassion, and the wisdom that are within us all the time. Now slowly open your eyes and just let your mind be as it is, what we call the natural state of your own mind. No matter what kind of thought comes, emotion and feeling, let them come, let them go. As background of thought and emotion, there's a quality of knowingness, quality of lucidity. It's always there. And then surface level, maybe you're thinking a lot. Pizza, email, what should I do tomorrow? What happened yesterday? And all these thoughts and emotions are like cloud in the sky. The cloud comes in the sky, stays in the sky, dissolves back into the sky. The fundamental quality of the mind, the knowing quality, is like sky itself. though you cannot really grab it, but you can experience. So let it experience, just be. Let your mind be as it is. Now wish that may my small practice of meditation cause to help myself, my friends, family, and the society. Wish that may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Okay, thank you.
Professor Thurman, Rinpoche, it's such a privilege to be up here with you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for coming and joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.